So we're actually recording with these right now?
Yep, everything that you are hearing right now is coming from these two microphones. They're wireless and they're going straight into the Canon C50.
No mixer?
We're not using a mixer today.
No RØDECaster?
We're not using the RØDECaster.
No audio interface?
We also decided not to use the audio interface. We're going straight from these two microphones into the Canon C50 with the little wireless transmitter.
So why do we own all this other stuff?
Really, that's a completely different video.
Fair enough.
Let me tell you why I bought them. I actually bought them not because I need another microphone. I definitely don't need another microphone. I bought them because I think content creation has a friction problem, and these microphones might actually solve it. These are the Maono PD200W wireless microphones. And before we get too far into this, this is not a sponsored video. I bought these microphones myself. I paid $179 on Amazon. We're not going to spend the next 10 minutes going through every spec, every button, every feature, because that is not why I bought them. I do not plan on using them as USB microphones. I will not connect them through XLR. For me, the entire reason, it's actually interesting. It's right here. It's wireless audio. These two microphones, one receiver going straight into the Canon C50. And we're recording these into separate tracks. And that's it. That's the feature that got my attention.
And that's different than how we normally do this.
You're right. That would be very different. Normally, if you and I were recording a podcast, we'd be sitting in this studio right in front of our Electro-Voice RE20s. Those would run into the RØDECaster Pro II, and we might even use something like the RØDECaster Video. And eventually, we're getting everything into the camera and into the production workflow. That's a great setup. It sounds great. It is incredibly flexible, but there are lots of pieces. And today, 2 microphones, 1 receiver, straight into the camera.
But if the other setup works, why change it?
That's a really good question, actually. And I'm not necessarily trying to replace the other setup. I'm trying to solve a different problem because the way that we're creating content is changing. We used to think about content as something that might live for months or years. And in some cases, it still works that way. But increasingly, we're creating things that might be relevant for a week, a day, sometimes only a few hours. Something happens this morning and you want to talk about it today. The value of that content might disappear by tomorrow. And suddenly, spending 2 or 3 hours getting ready to create a 10-minute piece of content doesn't make a lot of sense.
So you're not necessarily trying to make production cheaper.
That's the part I think people actually miss. The obvious conversation with these microphones is, of course, price because they are inexpensive. But I'm actually more interested in time because equipment cost is one thing. Friction compounds. Every cable, every interface, every mixer, every piece of software, every routing decision, every file that needs to be synchronized afterwards. None of those things individually take very long, but together they compound to take up an enormous amount of time. And sometimes the difference between creating something and not creating something is simply, I don't feel like getting all that set up.
I've heard you say that before.
Exactly. And I own the equipment. Imagine someone who's just trying to get started.
But is there a trade-off? If you make everything easier, aren't you sacrificing the quality of it?
Maybe. And that's what we're going to find out right now. But I think there's an important distinction between quality and production value. They're not necessarily the same thing. If I'm shooting a commercial for a client, I'm going to use equipment and workflow appropriate for that production. We're going to light it properly. We're going to capture the best audio we reasonably can. We're going to spend time in post. But the economics justify it. But if you and I decide this afternoon that there's something interesting happening and we want to have a conversation about it, do we really need that entire production chain? And the answer is maybe not. The question becomes, what is the minimum amount of equipment and effort required to maintain the quality that we are comfortable putting our name on?
So basically, this video is a test.
The entire video is a test, absolutely. And that's why we're not going to cut away to a bunch of microphone samples. You've been listening to the microphone samples since the beginning of the video. This is it. This is what my voice sounds like through it. This is what Bert's voice sounds like through it. And that's useful because our voices are pretty different. I have a very dark voice, and some microphones make that challenging because they add even more weight to the bottom, and suddenly articulation becomes harder. Bert's voice is obviously occupies a very different range. So you're hearing two very different voices through the same microphone system. And remember, we're not running these through an audio mixer. They're going wirelessly straight into the camera.
So you said these are dynamic microphones. Why does that matter?
Primarily because of the environment that we're sitting in. Dynamic microphones tend to be useful in situations like this because we're trying to capture our voices without capturing everything that is happening around us. And that's another part of reducing friction. I don't necessarily want to acoustically treat every single room before I start recording. Obviously, microphone placement still matters. Technique matters. The room matters. But for this kind of content or conversational content, a dynamic microphone makes a lot of sense. With that, I do want to point out a couple of things here. I'm noticing that even though we are capturing into different channels, at least on the meters, as I look at the actual, monitor that we're monitoring the scene with, I can tell that there is microphone bleed happening. That's something that you're not going to get away with if you're working in a really tight space, particularly when the microphones are essentially right next to one another. And it doesn't really matter if the backs of the microphones are facing each other, we're still going to get a bit of microphone bleed. It's not, it's something you'll have to clean up in post-production. If we were using a mixer, we could actually use a noise gate to help alleviate some of that, making the microphones perform even better, as well as if we were using a mixer that has auto mix into it, it would automatically attenuate or lower the volume for anyone who is not speaking. That way, there is less cleanup that we would need to do in post. This is not happening because we're going straight into the camera.
Okay, so you paid $179 for two.
Yes, that's the kit that I purchased. I bought it on Amazon. The pricing on these is a little weird. I've seen individual microphones promoted for around $99. And the camera conductivity unit, that's an extra accessory that sells for an additional $40. I've also seen a lot of promotions around these on TikTok, where the pricing can move around depending on whether the promotion is active or not. I bought these on Amazon specifically because the pricing seems to stay pretty consistent on Amazon without whether there's a campaign running or not. So definitely check before assuming that what I paid for this is what they're selling for at the time that you're watching this.
Still, compared to everything sitting around us?
Sure. But again, that's almost the least interesting part for me. Saving money once is nice. Saving time every time you record compounds. That's potentially a much more valuable proposition. And here's another scenario. We're using the Canon C50 today, but the idea that I could have a conversation like this and get audio directly into the camera or potentially a computer or my smartphone without rebuilding the entire audio setup, that is appealing to me. And I'll say one more thing. This actually makes so that the equipment adapts to the content instead of the content having to adapt to the equipment.
And if we wanted to move?
That's another thing. I'm not attached to anything. There's no XLR. You guys can see there's no XLR. I'm not going to do some ridiculous test where I walk 3 blocks down the street to find out at what point is the audio going to cut out.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Because honestly, I don't care. I'm not so far away that I can't see anymore. I'm not doing that test. And I'm never going to be in a situation trying to use this microphone where I'm so far away from the camera that I'm worried about the audio dropping off. To me, what matters most is working in a regular type of production. So I can sit here, I can stand here, we can change positions. And even if we literally picked up and moved to a completely different location, there is no audio chain that I need to rebuild.
It's also pretty easy for me. You handed me the microphone.
And that's actually a bigger deal than it sounds. You're comfortable around audio equipment and gear in general because you've been around it for a really long time. But imagine bringing someone into a podcast who isn't. I don't want to explain gain staging. I don't want them worrying about interfaces. I don't want somebody afraid to move because they're attached to an XLR cable. Here's your microphone, talk. That's what I want to do. And that's a real good user experience. And anything that lets the technology disappear from the conversation is absolutely valuable.
Okay. What don't you like about them?
That's actually a tough question, but it's actually an easy question. I don't know yet.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. This is the first time that we're actually using them. I haven't edited this footage. I haven't listened to it critically to figure out what these recordings sound like. I don't know if there's something happening in the audio that's going to drive me absolutely bonkers when I get into post. There might be. And if there is, I'll let you know. That's also why I don't want to call this a microphone review. This is our first real world experience with them. We're discovering it along with everybody watching. And actually, this is where you can help us. You've been listening to these microphones through the entire video. So tell us what you hear. Don't worry about whether these are inexpensive microphones. Don't worry about the brand. Just listen. How does Bert sound? How do I sound? Does anything bother you? Do you hear something you really like? And particularly, if you work with audio regularly, I'm curious what stands out to you. Because ultimately, I have a very simple standard for these. Do they sound good enough that the workflow advantage is worth using? And if it is, then they don't need to replace my other microphones. They don't need to replace the RE20. They don't need to replace the RØDECaster. They don't need to win some microphone shootout. They simply need to make this whole process a lot easier.
So are these going to become our new podcast microphones?
Maybe, but that's almost besides the point. Because I think the bigger lesson here applies to cameras, microphones, lighting, everything that we use to create. As creators, it's really easy to build increasingly complicated workflows because we keep adding things that make final production incrementally better. And individually, every decision makes sense. Then one day you look around and you need 15 pieces of equipment just so that you can hit record. At some point, you have to ask, is all this helping me create? Or is some of it getting in the way? Because the best production workflow isn't necessarily the one capable of producing the absolute highest technical quality. It's the one that gives you the quality you need with the least amount of friction between having the idea and actually publishing it. And right now, with the lifespan of content getting shorter and shorter and shorter, that matters more than ever.
And if somebody wants to try these, I put the link in the description. It'll probably be an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but if you happen to buy it through it, it helps support the channel and helps us keep doing these experiments just like this.
But listen to the video first. You're hearing them. Make your own decision.
So what's the verdict?
Ask me after the edit.
Okay, that'll be helpful to everyone who watches this video.
And that's actually the point, right? Right now, I can tell you that the workflow for me works. 2 microphones, 2 people, 2 separate tracks. It's wireless audio going straight into the Canon C50. Whether the audio passes the test, you're finding that out at the exact same time we are. So let us know what you think in the comments. And I'll pin my thoughts after I've had a chance to actually edit this. Listen to everything critically and live with these for just a little bit.
And if they're terrible,
then we're just going to record an entire video proving that.
Perfect.
Yeah. Until next time, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Bert. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you in the next one.
Take care.